Hi, I'm Realtor Bert Tade. Welcome to another edition of Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Tade. This is an educational video series for both buyers and sellers in which we maneuvered through the hoopla, the hype, and even the media negativity surrounding the real estate industry. Today's tips is actually a four-part series for sellers. Been doing some other videos for buyers. However, these are going to be for the selling public, right? When they're looking to sell a home, we're going to give you a four-part series. This video is video number one, which is going to be preparing the home for sale. We're also going to be talking about pricing your home correctly, as well as marketing strategies for selling a home. And finally, the fourth video is going to be staging tips to attract buyers. So let's get started. So the first thing we want to talk about when we're preparing the home for sale is, of course, to declutter and depersonalize. Now, this is a little bit of a controversial sort of topic for a lot of folks because um, moving is an emotional time, right? Selling a home or buying a home, either way, it's an emotional time, and a lot of folks are not willing to follow this advice, but it is very good, sound advice, and any real estate professional with any degree of experience is going to tell you the same thing, which is that you have to declutter and depersonalize, right? So we're going to recommend removing the items, personal items such as family photos, memorabilia, as well as collections. Okay, I've shown I don't know, thousands of homes in my career because I've worked with a lot of buyers and as well as sellers, and I can tell you that there are a lot of collections of sports memorabilia, autographed football helmets, things that sort, particularly in the offices. Um, Not trying to be controversial here, but maybe the offices of men, right? Because we typically collect that kind of stuff. And they're phenomenal, don't get me wrong. However, think about it. If someone is touring your home and they're only supposed to be there for, 20, 15, 20, 30 minutes, why would you want them hanging around and maybe even tying up the next family that wants to come view the home while they're stopping in their tour to look at all the collectible stuff on the walls? Think about that. Albeit cool and interesting, and listen, I've found some of that stuff fascinating, right? I love sports. I love professional sports, all four of the major sports, and I'm also getting into soccer recently, right? But it's just not a good idea, right? So you want to clear out any excess furniture as well, and items that might detract from the amount of space that you have. So any excess furniture is going to make the home look cluttersome, and it's going to look like, well, gosh, how am I going to fit my furniture into this house? Because psychologically they're thinking, well, my goodness, there's not a lot of space here, when there might be perfectly terrific space. However, the appearance is that because of the excess furniture, it might not look like there's as much space, right? So we're going to recommend organizing your closets, cabinets, and storage areas, to showcase the ample storage. And, it's like the adage in real estate that we always say, which is that, you can never have enough storage space. Well, you know what? Organize that to where you can show, you can demonstrate to those buyers that are touring your home, and they're opening up doors, closet doors, and uh, storage areas, that there's plenty of space for their stuff, right? People love their stuff. The second thing we're going to recommend is, of course, to deep clean the house, right? You're going to want to keep all the areas clean throughout the home, as well as including carpets, windows, and appliances, but as well as, paying special attention to bathrooms, kitchens. We want to keep that home as spotless as possible, right? Considering hiring a cleaning service to do a deep clean for that home. So we do that all the time whenever the homes are vacant. We bring in a professional cleaning crew, sometimes on our dime, right? Because it's part of the marketing aspect, right? To make that home show really, really well, not just in the professional photos up front. However, when the buyers are touring the home, I just toured a home in $1 million house in the Canyon Springs, right? And the home, it's a beautiful home, but there's all kinds of lizards running around, and literally lizards running around, and cockroaches and stuff like that. So it's important to keep those homes clean, even when you're not there anymore, right? And it's vacant. So the third thing, and by the way, that with that deep clean, I'm going to also recommend on a side note that you should always power wash. Always. What a difference it makes, right? The windows need to be spotless. I mean, they open the window and they can see that backyard like it's just crystal clear through that window. It has to be spotless. The windows have to be spotless, and as well as the floors. Hey, listen, it has to be clean. The doors have to be clean, but I put more emphasis on the windows than they do the floors. I just went through that with a home seller for a vacant listing. They're like, "Oh my God, they didn't properly vacuum," and I'm like, "Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it whatsoever. What's more important are the windows, that they're sparkling clean, and when they open the curtains or blinds, whatever type of window treatments are currently there, that those windows sparkle, right?" And by the way, we got multiple offers on the house, quite a few actually. But that curb appeal is so important. We're going to talk a little bit about that in just a minute. But I'm telling you, power wash, especially if there's any kind of mildew or mossy sort of buildup around the bottom of the walls, where there might have been splashing from sprinkler system or anything like that, or rain that pops and kind of spills over the wall on that backsplash to the wall. Power wash it. The next thing I'm going to recommend is, of course, make necessary repairs. All right, don't show the home with any kind of deferred maintenance. Fix any broken or damaged items, especially, right, such as leaky faucets, cracked tiles, damaged walls. You don't want there to be leaking of the faucets, that kind of stuff whatsoever. Address any safety issues such as loose handrails and faulty electrical outlets. That is a no-no, right? We don't want to show the house in a dangerous state. But ensure that the major systems such as HVAC, the air conditioning, plumbing, and electrical are in good working order. I always tell people that they must focus on the 5 major areas of the house when they're buying a home, right? The foundation, HVAC, plumbing, electrical, and roof. But in this case, it's 3 of them, right? HVAC, plumbing, and electrical. Make sure they're in good working order. And by the way, along the lines of making the necessary repairs, if you are marketing your home, to FHA and VA buyers, the FHA limits in Bexar County, last time I checked, 557, I think, which is a far cry from when I started in the real estate business. It was like $100 and something thousand for the Bexar County limits on FHA loans. 557. So if your home is under 557, you want to offer FHA as a financing term, and you'll accept those loans. Great. Have a discussion with your real estate professional, and they can kind of guide you on the ins and outs. However, make sure that there's no disrepair. I'm talking rotted fascia boards, the wood around the wood frames around windows, the 1x4s, things of that nature that tend to rot. And especially this is organic material, right? If it's not painted on a regular basis, tends to kind of soak that water right in, and moisture, and begin to rot. And those are the things that are going to be flagged, not only flagged by inspectors, but VA and FHA appraisers especially, they have a checklist. It's not an FH, it's not a VA inspector per se. It is someone who is an appraiser who's qualified to appraise VA and FHA loans, and they will take the appraiser hat off. And they'll put the inspector hat on, and they have a checklist basically, and things like wood rot, and fascia boards that are you can see raw wood. Maybe even the paint is flaking off, things of that nature. Just fix it before you even list it. I did a walk around a listing years ago, and I told the gentleman, you're going to want to paint that fascia board, because if we get an FHA buyer or a VA buyer, they're not going to, it's going to become a lender required repair. This is why I'm giving you this advice, because they become lender required repairs, and you don't want for that process to be tied up in underwriting until you go and get those things addressed. You just don't want it, trust me. He said, oh yeah, sure, we'll have it painted, don't worry about it. He didn't paint it, and sure enough, it got flagged as lender required repair. Lesson learned for him. I gave him the advice, and you have to listen to your industry professional. You have to. You must listen to us, because we've been there. Especially if we're working with someone with a ton of experience, like we do here at Santino Properties LLC. You want to be able to have that guidance, because we know from the real estate perspective exactly what appraisers are looking for, inspectors are looking for, so forth and so on. So make sure that there's nothing that could be flagged as a lender required repair, because they charge to go back out like $150, $200 to go back out there, and then it's like people are scratching their heads like, okay, I'm not going to pay for it. Well, it's you didn't have it, the home ready, so it's you're the seller, and so now you have to you pay it. It's a lot of this going on. Who's going to pay the $200, right? Enhanced curb appeal. I just mentioned that a minute ago. Very important, because we want to make sure that you maintain the lawn, trim the bushes, and put a fresh mulch or flowers in. Oh my goodness, what a difference it makes. Just the mulch alone. You get the fresh, just to put the bags of mulch around the trees and make that look fresh. Wow, what a difference it makes. It makes the home pop. Just fantastic. And of course, with the windows, as I mentioned, especially their double pane glass, make sure that they're shiny. The windows you can see that from the curb. You can see into the house. It's shiny windows, crystal clear. Mulch around the trees and the flower beds. What a difference it makes. Repaint or clean the front door to ensure the house numbers are visible and the front door is clean. Nothing turns buyers off more than like copper sort of handles and so forth that look tarnished. Polish them. What a difference it makes. Oh my gosh, buyers look at that stuff. It's gonna evoke the oohs and the ahs. And as a real estate professional who shows property to buyers sometimes, because I don't just take listings, I also work with buyers. What a different! I'm always listening for how they react to a home, and I want to hear the oohs and the ahs, because those are indications that they're really digging the house, right? They really like what they see, right? And something as simple as the windows that I'm talking about, and the mulch, and ooh, look at that! Wow, that's terrific. It creates a buzz, an interest, right? And the couple will typically look at each other if it's a couple buying the house, and they're like, wow, look at, did you see that? And they'll even ask you, did you see that? And that's when you know that a buyer is really into the house. And this is what you can create too, if you follow these this advice. Again, power wash the exterior, including the siding, the walkways, and the driveways. And I'm talking, the sidewalk right there in front of the house that corresponds to your property. So from here to here, right, that's the width of your property, whatever that is, however many feet that is, that sidewalk, should also be power washed. The driveway, especially, any oil stains, remove it as best you can. Nothing's perfect. Um, do me a favor and look at the pictures for a property at 6431 Ridge Circle Drive. 6431 Ridge Circle Drive. That's a listing that's currently under contract. However, I want you to see the pictures, and wow, because those professional pictures, my professional photographer is an artist. She is awesome, and the grass was lush and beautiful, freshly mowed in time for those professional photos to be taken. The seller told me I'm gonna mow the grass the day before she comes. It looked phenomenal. I mean, like they say, picture perfect. Check out the pictures online of that house, and they're probably, even after it's sold, depending on when you watch this video, it doesn't matter. They'll still be there. I want for you to see that. The curb appeal. Oh my gosh, and that house was phenomenal, and that's what drives the traffic to the house as well. And the fifth thing we'll talk about is neutralize the decor. Repaint walls into neutral colors. Don't list it and just say we'll give you a paint allowance. Don't do that. Don't be lazy. Put your best foot forward. I always tell my sellers, you never get a second chance to make a first impression with buyers, and the first impression are the online photos. And when they see all these different colors or rooms, and don't do it. The first house I ever had with my wife, this was years and years ago. Oh my gosh, we've been married 22 years, so 18, 19 years ago, whenever it was that we sold our first house. We had all kinds of crazy colors, and I can't imagine now that I'm in the real estate business, 10 years, so that was, a long time before I ever got into the real estate business, but it was like, oh my gosh. What were we thinking? Listing the house with all these crazy colors. We should just paint them neutral colors, right? Instead of just, putting in the remarks, we'll offer you a paint allowance. No, do it for them. If they want to paint it later, that's up to them. Neutral colors to appeal to a wider range of buyers. Remove bold or unique decor that might not suit everybody's taste. Opt for simple, classic furnishings and decorations. So, speaking of decorations, and we kind of talked about that in the very first thing, to declutter and depersonalize. I talked about the collectibles and such. Remove your religious items, folks. I'm a proud Christian. I don't mind professing my love for Jesus. I talk to God every single day. I'm not bragging about it. I'm just sharing with you that I'm a Christian, but nothing turns people off more than seeing a bunch of crosses on the wall. It just isn't cool. And you could alienate a couple buyers that walk through. And I know what you're thinking. This is Texas, man. I can love Jesus. I can love God. I can do whatever I want. Do you want to sell your house? If you want to sell your house, then you're going to listen to my advice. Take the crosses off the wall. I just had professional photos at a home where she had all kinds of, it looked like masks. Not these long wooden sort of masks, sort of like from some, I don't know what kind of culture it was. I'm not even going to comment what I think it is. I said, ma'am, would you be willing to take those down? Oh my God, what am I going to do with them? In a box? I got to put them in boxes, and the buyers will understand. You're in a transitional phase. You're moving out. If they see a couple boxes with your items from the walls, it's better than seeing that than to seeing those things on the walls in the pictures. You're going to alienate folks, and they're not going to want to come see your property, as beautiful as it is. Trust me. Anyway, so that's it for now. This has been the first video in the 4-part series, preparing your home sale. I ran a little bit long, but it's because I had a lot of really interesting stuff to share with you, and some anecdotes as well. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I'm Realtor Bert Tade, and this has been Sipping Coffee or Tea with Realtor Bert Tade. I'm broker owner of Santino Properties LLC. Hopefully you enjoyed this educational video. Be sure to subscribe to my page. Hit the like button below, and leave me a comment. I'm always interested to hear what people think about my perspective as a real estate broker and my years of experience in this industry. And maybe you disagree with some of my viewpoints about decluttering and depersonalizing. Leave a comment below. I love to see them, good and bad. And that's it for now. Thanks for watching.